I love the original Insta360 Go. It was certainly a departure from the standard lineup of Insta360 cameras, but it was such an easy-to-use device, tiny, discreet, one-button shooting, perfect for short, fun, stabilized clips with an app that made putting together multiple clips, syncing them to music, stupidly easy. But this is the Go 2, and it has really evolved. It's grown up and it isn't just a toy anymore. It's absolutely good enough quality for more professional uses, and not just with a simple resolution bump. It's managed to grow up in a way that doesn't negate from the core ease of use, that one-click shooting. It has a ton of new features, including upgrading this smart battery case from what was essentially just a USB adapter and battery into what is now a remote control, a stand for desktop use, as well as an adapter for attaching to a selfie stick. If you buy one camera this year, it should be this one. So join me, James Bruce, with MakeUseOf.com reviews as I show you everything you need to know about the Insta360 Go 2 and whether this is the right mini action camera for you. And in case it isn't obvious from the fact that I've recorded this review before it's actually available to buy, thank you to Insta360 for sending this over to evaluate. This video is not sponsored and they did not have any control over the content. It's literally just my opinions. And my opinion is that I love it. However, I should note this is a prototype unit and that the final model that's shipping will be glossy, not matte white. It's not a major difference, but maybe you have adverse reactions to glossy white things. So no more than the size of your thumb and weighing a meager 0.93 ounces or 26.5 grams. The Go 2 is discreet and easy to mount literally anywhere with a huge range of magnetic mounting options included in the package. Now, some of these are new, some are similar to those on the first iteration, so let's have a quick look. The first mounting method is this pendant, which is designed to be worn underneath your clothing such that the Go 2 just sort of magically snaps onto your chest. Very cool. You then have this sticky ball joint mount. If you peel off the protective film, you can stick it anywhere. It even has this little indent in the base so you can then securely fold it over and keep that lens protected. Then you have a generic clip mount, which is great for getting point of view shots from head height when you're wearing like a baseball cap, or you can clip it onto your jacket, etc. I found this was actually my favorite way of using it. Really great for proper point of view shots. You've also got a basic magnetic adapter for standard action cam mounting points, but for those high action shots where the camera is likely to get jostled around a lot, you should grab the more secure version of this, which essentially wraps around the camera rather than relying on the magnetic force alone. And I'm not finished yet. Lastly, you have this incredible new charging case, which is also a remote control, mini tripod, and a selfie stick mount. More on this later, but know that if you want to use the Go 2 for vlogging, just slot it into the case. Then you can screw your tripod or selfie stick into the tripod thread at the bottom of the case. Alternatively, for use on a desk or tabletop, like it is right now, you have these small legs that can just be pulled out. It's all rather ingenious. Now, the maximum resolution that you can shoot at has had a nice bump up to 2560 by 1440, otherwise known as 1440p, and that's at 50 or 30 frames a second. You can also do time-lapse, hyperlapse, and HDR video at 1440 30 FPS, as well as slow motion at up to 1080p 120 FPS. It's waterproof down to 13 feet or 4 meters and features Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity with 32 gigabytes of onboard storage. In terms of battery life, you get about 30 minutes of continuous shooting. That's in the best mode that it has, while inside of the case, that goes up to about 2.5 hours, as well as being able to just recharge it before you take it out and shoot again. It takes 30 minutes to recharge the camera fully from the case, and the case itself takes just over an hour to recharge fully over a USB-C cable, which is also how you get files onto your PC if you want to use the accompanying desktop app. So this case really is a mega upgrade on the previous iteration. Opening it up, you'll find 2 remote control buttons for starting and stopping recording, as well as cycling through the menu options, and there's a small screen for navigation. So this whole case connects automatically and wirelessly whenever it's opened up. You can either leave the camera in there, which you do when you want to attach it to a selfie stick or just shoot some time lapses with the little tripod legs extended from the back here, or you can leave the case open and pull out the camera. It'll stay connected though, and this then just acts like a remote control. Now this sounds a little bit complicated, but the Go 2, like the first iteration, also doesn't need the case at all. The bottom half of the Go 2 is like one giant button, so no matter what you've got it attached to, you can just press it to initiate the default recording mode, and it'll buzz to let you know that it's now recording. That then shoots for a specified length of time and it turns itself off again. There's also some other options, so you can double tap it to start a different shoot mode, or you can hold it down to turn the camera on. It's just so simple to use when you're out and about, especially because it's literally one button press and then it's going to record and automatically turn off again. The Insta360 app is where the editing magic happens. Pro users can also make use of the desktop app to get the best quality footage, but for simple little videos for social media and such, the mobile app actually has a lot more clever editing features and video templates than the desktop app does. So the Insta360 app is now unified across all of the Insta360 cameras. It used to be a separate one for each device, but now they share a common set of video templates and tutorials and such. I don't want to dwell on the app too much because I've talked about it so much in the past for other cameras I've reviewed, and very little has changed since then, but briefly, I wanted to walk you through the creation of a quick video that I posted to Instagram. So once you've imported your clips over Wi-Fi, you can also set those to automatically delete from the camera to clean up space if you want. Then just click on the Stories tab in the bottom, and it's here that you'll find a large range of video templates for very short videos, up to sort of 20-30 seconds in length. Just click on one to preview it, and if you like the music and the cuts that it's done, click Next, choose your clips in order, and then it'll attempt to pick out the best bits and make them into a preview video. It was a bit less successful in my case where I'd shot long clips, but it's easy enough to go through and change where each clip starts, change the field of view. The whole thing is automatically timed and set some music, so once you're done, just click export the video, boom, simple. Took me no more than 5 minutes to edit and export this quick example video. So to give you an idea of the sound quality, I've attached it onto the end of the selfie stick and we'll go for a little walk. Now there isn't much wind today, so that shouldn't present a problem, but you should be able to hear the ambience and the birds perhaps. And just to remind you, to film like this, it's inside of the case on the end of a selfie stick. So this is also a great opportunity to demonstrate the horizon lock feature, and this is in addition to the standard sort of stabilization. No matter how much you rotate the camera, the viewpoint that you see will always be stabilized and roughly locked on the horizon like that. Now this won't eradicate all of the movements that you get while walking along, but it should be able to stabilize out some of the lateral movements, all of the rotational movements, and none of the forward and backwards movements like those. Those will still be in the video. But overall, it's a great option for vlogging like this. To really test out the stabilization features and that unique dog's eye point of view, I attached the Go 2 to a dog harness thing that I've had for years. This is just a standard action cam mount equipped dog harness. It's not a unique Insta360 by any means, so just to show you that the action cam mount system is universal, so you can use it with all of your old stuff. You won't need to buy a whole new set of accessories. But this was shot on Pro mode and with full flow state stabilization. The on-camera stabilization is good, but for this sort of lots of movement, lots of vibrations, you really should use flow state and shoot in Pro video mode. Here's another example where I took the scooter out for a bumpy off-road ride, and it really does a great job of smoothing things out. You can see a side-by-side comparison of what it looks like without that stabilization and what a huge difference it makes to your footage. The sheer size of the camera can also be really fun. You might have seen their teaser video where the Insta360 team pulled the camera through a sort of kitchen table setup with various objects around it. But I found this would be perfect for mounting on a Lego train, not only because it's tiny and won't add extra bulk to the side of the train, but also because of that superior stabilization. Now, this did end up showing some of the less impressive sort of low light performance as it went underneath the tables, which is not surprising in a sensor this tiny, but I suspect this thing might become the de facto standard for filming Lego train point of views. Admittedly a niche market, but Insta360 should totally make an official magnetized Lego mounting point. So the Insta360 Go 2 is not just the action camera for the rest of us and very reasonably priced at just $299. It's also a pretty viable action cam for everyone. Actually, it's so simple to use while also having the depth of options and features and image quality that you'd expect from something a little more professional. It's tiny, it's discreet, it can literally be mounted onto anything, and it adapts well to shooting in a variety of different modes. On the downside, of course, is the low light performance. Though you can clean up any grainy footage a little in post, you just shouldn't expect that much from a sensor so tiny. It's also not 4K. The maximum resolution of 1440p might be a deal breaker for many people, but how many 4K videos are you actually publishing? It's pretty easy to dismiss 1080p to 1440p as a minor resolution bump, but in reality it makes a huge difference. That's 78% more pixels, more detail, and anecdotally the video quality from this feels similar to the bump from 720 to 1080p, but to me the footage is just a whole lot better quality overall. And that could also be due to a higher bitrate, a better sensor of course, but resolution must be playing a part of that in some way. The Insta360 Go was already my favorite camera, and it's clear that they've taken on board user feedback, upped the specs, the resolution, the quality of the footage entirely, and really added a ton of new features to the Go 2. But that said, at a time when smartphone cameras are already capable of taking incredible quality video, it's becoming increasingly difficult to recommend a new camera really for most people. As the saying goes, the best camera is the one that you have on you. But the Insta360 Go is one of the few devices that actually makes sense. It improves on the shooting experience by dint of being so small, so discreet, and so simple to capture quick point of view clips. I mean, who would have thought it could be easier than pulling out a phone, hitting the camera button, and then hitting record? But you can. Tap. See? I'm recording. I'm not pointing some obnoxious phone in your face and missing the precious moments in life because I'm too busy staring at this screen to see how my videos come out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this has helped you to find out a little bit more about the Insta360 Go 2 and whether it's the action/life logging, vlogging family camera for you. Please hit like if you found the video useful. I know it seems like a silly gesture, but it definitely helps us to get this video in front of more people. And do consider subscribing for more daily tech news, gadget reviews, and more from all of us over at makeuseof.com. Until next time.